Hello and welcome to the Comfort Cartoons Archive, the show where we will be adding up every single Spongebob and Nickelodeon item from the Comfort Cartoons collection, whether it be in the vault or also the cavern. Today we are going to be featuring 3 new items that are going to be added into our Spongebob counter. If you're not aware of our counter, that's how we are going to be adding up every single item. So all the numbers you see there has a video here on the channel you can go check out. We have a Spongebob counter, which is on screen, and also a Nickelodeon counter on screen. And we also have a Squidward doing the thing counter, which is when Squidward does this particular pose, which he has done from the start of the Spongebob series all the way to the most recent products to be released. So we're trying to archive how many times he has done that throughout the eras, and we have a brand new one here with Squidward on the right side here doing the thing. But we have 3 different colognes here, one of which we actually got from an awesome member in the rep pack, McKenna R, in 2022. So that one's labeled right there as well. I do have a Spongebob one still in the box, but I decided to put hers here in the cavern because I always prioritize one that came from one of the rep pack first. And I do have their packages inside of our vault with all the boxes for some of the stuff that's in the cavern here, but I couldn't find those guys to dig them out for this video. But I'm popping up the boxes and what they look like in their packaging on screen here. We also have some scent descriptions from the promotions of these as well, which are always fun to read. But checking them out one by one, we have the Spongebob cologne, which looks awesome. He has the fry cook hat on there. Pop that open, takes the top half of the fry cook helmet off, of the fry cook hat off, not a helmet. I mean, I guess it can be sometimes the place. Give ourselves a nice little sprit of that. And honestly, it's a unisex cologne, but comparatively to the original Spongebob cologne that we featured on the show here, the green label one, all 3 of these smell much more masculine in comparison. It has a very men's cologne-esque scent to it. It doesn't really feel very feminine, although it is, again, a unisex cologne. Not to say that any type of scent is one or the other, but one that's more, I guess, atypical of a men's cologne. It smells super smooth, but a little bit sweet. But the official description of Spongebob's cologne is a citric aromatic fragrance with lemon, melon, grapefruit, and sea notes, rosemary, based on woodsy notes and musk. I have no clue what these notes are, but overall got a 7.5 out of 10 from fragrance.net. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I might be biased. Next up, we have the Patrick Star cologne. And as with Patrick, you have, of course, his iconic floral pattern shorts there. He's got a really reflective belly, which is cute. And you actually gotta decapitate him in order to actually get the fragrance out. And although I probably shouldn't be mixing scents, I'm gonna spray it a little bit lower here so I can try my best to smell it again. It's been a while since I smelled this guy. I'll be taking that one in, but looking at his design here, it's very season 1-esque. I love it so much because, as we talked about on this archive before, as the years go by with Patrick, his head goes from being more shaped this direction and having some more wrinkles in his forehead to actually it being pulled backward, more straight, almost slightly backward, with no wrinkles in his forehead. So it's a very season 1 style Patrick with the thick eyebrows, thin mouth, and smaller pupils. And they also have some little nods here, which are kind of just supposed to be like the little, I guess, texture that would typically be on a starfish. And on the back, of course, you've got some more of those bumps there, just kind of add to that texture. Whereas Spongebob also had a couple of those bumps too. I failed to mention, and some ridges on the side here as well too, to kind of grip it around the hand, which is nice. But I said Spongebob was sweet, and this one is far sweeter, to be honest. I don't quite know what the scent would be. I would guess maybe something like, it almost smells like a pear, or I don't know, something very, it's hard to put a note on it. I want to say almost like, maybe it's like a grape smell, but let's go ahead and read the actual product description. It is a floral woodsy musk fragrance for men and women. Top notes are seagrass, sea notes, apple, citrus, and freesia. Middle notes are salt, water lily, mint, water clayman, rose, moss, vetiver, sandalwood, and also white musk. So quite a lot of different scents mixed into the Patrick one there. I mean, the concoctions that they make in fragrances are unbelievable to me. And this one got an 8 out of 10 on fragrance.net. So a little higher rank than the Spongebob one did as far as scents go. Kind of an interesting note there. And it has apple and citrus. I guess I smelled grape, but yeah, I'm definitely not the kind of person that can break down the scents of colognes or perfumes. I mean, I have some, but I just decide they smell good or they don't smell good. And that's pretty much how I base them. Now let me show you how a cologne is made. We have the Squidward cologne here. And of course we added him on our counter of Squidward doing the thing. They did have to change his bottle up comparatively to the other characters because if they did Squidward's body by itself, you would have been losing some ounces for sure on your cologne unless they had just done his head. And then you may have gained some ounces. But the Squidward one is really, really nice. I love the packaging on it. It has the outline of his body and then just kind of the clear, transparent look of the cologne in the actual bottle, so you can't really notice that as much. And if you angle it in just the right way, it kind of just looks like Squidward standing there. And they have his nose kind of overlapping in a 3D style effect. They have, you know, his eyebrow raised, some of his liver spots on his head there, and you can see the backside, or well, it's actually just kind of the other side of the pattern there. It would have been nice to see some printing of the backside of his shirt there, but you know, it's not really that detailed to really, you know, to really complain about too much. And I am going to smell like an absolute mess today, but let's go even further and spray this one on. Okay, now that smells like a grown man. Like it smells like an old man, kind of. Like as grown of a man as you could really get. It smells very old and almost has a little bit of a spice to it. But I also am smelling kind of an amalgam of all the different colognes, but I will say this one smells the most masculine of all of them. Spongebob and Patrick has some sweetness, whereas this one doesn't really seem to have much sweetness at all. And the technical description of it is an amber faux fragrance with the women and men top notes lavender, rosemary, bergamot, middle notes amber, violet, leaf, base notes oak moss, tonka bean, musk, and sandalwood. So I mean everything else had some C notes in there, which I guess means something, and I just think it's, you know, works good for SpongeBob. This one did not have any fruits in it. You know, SpongeBob had melon, Patrick had apple, no fruit in it at all. So I give myself some points for being able to actually hone in on the scent of this guy a little bit better. I mean, I don't know, I'm learning. On that note, that is the Squidward cologne. And that finishes up our trilogy of scents. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it for my nose being completely destroyed from the mix of smells that I'm gonna have to wash off tonight. I will not be using these to have them in my collection, but if I were to choose one cologne to kind of just have with me and to use, I would probably go with the SpongeBob one. It kind of feels the most in the middle. Patrick smells a little bit too sweet for me, but whereas the Squidward one feels a little bit too, well, aggressive or intense for me. Whereas the SpongeBob one kind of feels like that middle ground where it's a light sweetness to it, but overall smells very masculine. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the SpongeBob one. But you guys let me know down below, which is your favorite bottle from this line, and hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, check out the other videos we have on the archive. And if you want to support the show further, go check us out on Patreon, where you can join for as little as $5 and you get a bunch of different perks, including extended versions of the videos I do on my regular channel, Comfort Cartoons, where I do all the collecting for this show and where we find everything you see on this archive. I would greatly appreciate if you would check the Patreon out, and it really helps us out to keep growing this museum, and also not just that, keeping the uploads coming. And also go check out Comfort Cartoons while you're at it if you haven't already. It's a huge passion project of mine that I love so much, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys thank you so much for just watching this video. I appreciate it so much. This channel is very much just for me to kind of archive all this stuff so we can have a catalog of all of it, and if people want to learn more about it, they can kind of get a detailed dive into each product. So I appreciate you guys so much that watch the videos consistently. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. We just passed 1,000 subscribers on this channel, which is really huge, so thank you again for that, and I will see all of you beautiful people in the next archive upload. Bloop.